Imagine being able to book one-way flights anywhere you want to go on a week's notice and just go with your laptop, with your phone, and a suitcase, all on your own terms. This is a dream lifestyle for most people. And maybe you don't even want to permanently live like this. Maybe you just want freedom. Maybe you just want to do more things in your hometown. Maybe you want to go to exotic locations once every so often and make memories with amazing, like-minded individuals. Well, I've been doing this for years, and now I'm going to break down my exact framework step by step. I promise you, no one else is making videos like this in depth. Everything from finding a good destination to dipping your toe in the water to finally booking that first flight, all the way to technical information like how you can fly around for free and take advantage of credit card points, how you should set up your bank structure so that you're safe when you're abroad in case someone gets access to your cards or maybe your computer gets hacked. I'll show you how to live stress-free. And I'm not going to give you some generic advice of get a remote job or go become a freelancer or use Upwork or learn some freelancing skill. I'm going to go deeper in depth, and I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to build a business that makes over $21,000 per month, where I can literally pay my mom a full-time salary while I travel. And maybe you have people you want to take care of, so I'll show you how you can do all of it. Now, this might be a little bit longer, so I need you to stick around, put down your phone, put down TikTok, stop watching the different travel videos, exit out those tabs, stick to the end, and make sure you watch it in the right order, or else things won't make sense. So let's dive into the course.
When I was 19 years old, I took a massive risk. I went to a place that I never dreamed of going to. My family was concerned about me. My friends asked me, Pavlo, why are you going to this location? What are you gonna do there? Who do you even know there? I went to a place where I didn't know anyone except one person. I had one friend. This was a big risk for me. In fact, at this point, I've never even really been on a long flight. Now, when I was a kid, I traveled from Ukraine over to America, of course, but I don't really remember that much. I was 4 years old, 5 years old. And when I was 19, I flew to Bangkok, Thailand. And I never met anyone that has flown all the way there. And I flew there on my own money that I made from my freelancing business, and it felt like a huge accomplishment. The way it happened was I met a friend in my university that was from Bangkok, and he told me I have to go because it's so amazing. And then I started researching this country of Thailand. I started researching all the things you could do there, and I was just fascinated. But I knew it was dangerous. And the perception that I had of Thailand was so wrong when I arrived there that it shocked me. Right? You read all these stories about, oh, it's dangerous and there's trafficking or this or that. And when I arrived there, I felt so amazing. It was a 30-hour trip. It was a very, very long time. And I actually didn't even tell my mom that I was going there until I already bought the flights. So I bought the flights and I saved up just enough money. I had about $2,000 in my bank account at this point. I sold the website and then I sold a second website. So that's pretty much all I had. Plus I had like some savings from my job. And so that was it. The flight was $1,200. Okay. So now that means I had about $800 left in my account for me to actually spend. And I thought this was going to be just a one-time trip. Hey, I just want to go. I want to travel. I want to see Thailand. And when I went there, it was so much better. It was so much safer than I had expected. And this trip completely changed my life. I was seeing all the different temples. I was learning history. I started learning things that I never thought would interest me. For example, history. I never really enjoyed history in school. I never really liked listening to a teacher talk about these dates and I had to memorize them and everything else, or even about religion. I never really cared to learn that much about these different religions. But then in Thailand, I found myself interested in everything. I saw monks walking down the street, and now I'm interested in their religion. I saw the different temples. and I was interested in the history of this temple. I started seeing different exotic animals, like playing with monkeys and elephants. And now I'm interested in them. And overall, this gave me a different perspective of the world. It showed me that my way of living is not the only way of living that exists. And it gave me a whole bunch of revelations, and I just had so much fun that I knew this was what I wanted to do. And then I started researching, how can I make money online? How can I make money in travel? Now, back then, we didn't have all the resources that you now have, but what we did have was the field of web design. And that's what I stumbled upon. And this became my goal. I knew that this was not going to be my last trip. And it's this one trip that I took a risk that gave me unlimited motivation, because now I knew what I wanted. And traveling doesn't have to be the same thing for you. Some people travel for 1 month, they enjoy it. It doesn't give them that spark that it gave me. That's fine. You don't have to travel full time if you don't want to. Inside of this course, we are going to cover everything related to travel. All the stuff that I wish that I had when I started my traveling journey. Everything from credit cards and bank accounts to we'll cover some tax stuff, all the way to picking a location and destination, all the way to making friends, growing your network, and actually using travel to build your business. We'll cover the multiple ways that you can travel, because travel is so broad, right? It could mean going to one place for 6 months, or it could mean going somewhere for 2 weeks. We're going to cover exactly how you can transition from being somebody that has never left your home country to taking that first trip, how you should book it, where you should book it, how to negotiate prices. We're going to cover everything. Your quality of life not only improves so much when you're living abroad, and by the way, I travel full-time now, meaning I only spend roughly 1 month in the US now at a time. Outside of that, I'm all over. Right? This year specifically, I'm in Brazil right now. A few weeks ago, I was in a different city. A month before that, I was in Rio de Janeiro. Then I was in Colombia. Then I was in Mexico. So I've been all over Latin America. And traveling has so many side benefits that also people don't talk about. Not only are you able to build your business and live in a more luxurious environment just because of the currency, right? If you live in a first world country and you're making dollars, that it's much easier to spend that overseas in a place like Mexico or Colombia and just have a better quality of life, meaning a chef, or you can get massage therapy, or you can go to a chiropractor, or really you can do so much when you live abroad. But let's just ignore that for a second. Let's ignore the currency. And let's talk about some of the other benefits of travel that most people don't talk about. I would not be where I am in business if I had not started traveling. I mean, literally, the people that I have met while traveling to places like Mexico, Colombia, have completely changed my life. Because what you'll notice when you start traveling is a lot of people are like-minded. I've made friends that I'm now going to have for the rest of my life because I started traveling. So what started off as like, oh, I want more adventures, now turned into one of the most profitable things that I have ever done for my personal life, for my business, because now I get to meet other agency owners. I get to meet other business owners in different avenues. But remember, these are all people that are making money online. These are people that are traveling. These are people that have cool stories. And so now you can expand your picture. You can expand new areas of the world, new areas of the map, like a video game that you previously wouldn't have dared to go to. And some of these business owners that you'll meet, some of them are making 10K a month, some 20, some 50, some 100, some over $200,000 per month. All of these agency owners that I know that are doing big numbers, maybe even people that you see on YouTube, I have met while traveling. They all go to these crazy locations. Now, not all of them live abroad and live outside the US kind of like I do, and that's okay, but a lot of them visit these locations. And so you'll meet someone that knows this person or knows of this person and so forth. And so you can expand your network without needing to go to these like crazy mastermind events. Like there's literally people that pay $10,000, $20,000 plus over $50,000 to go to these mastermind events. Yes, they do exist, to meet other entrepreneurs and other agency owners and other business owners and just to exchange strategies. But when you travel and when you go to hotspots, and I'm going to show you how to find those, you're going to learn all the ins and outs and the secrets without spending all that money, because you're just going to hang out where these guys hang out. And even if you meet someone that's not in the agency space, that doesn't offer services like you, they can still give you insight. You'll meet a copywriter and you'll just show him some stuff that you're doing and he'll give you a bunch of ideas because he's good with copy. You'll meet someone that's selling a different kind of product, maybe someone that's drop shipping or whatever, and he'll just talk to you about Facebook ads, and then you might pick up skills. So now you can see how this is absolutely going to grow your business. And again, this is a side benefit, right? This is a side benefit of what you actually get, which is you live a more rich and full life. I think money's great and you want to make a lot of money, but at the end of your life, when you're reflecting, when you're thinking back on your life, I don't think that just making more money and sitting in your house, living in monk mode, is necessarily what you're going to cherish. Now, I love monk mode, right? Everything that you learned in the productivity course is very applicable. I like to work very, very hard. But there's also moments that I like to travel and enjoy my life. And I think these moments and these memories that you make are going to just stick with you forever. I have such amazing stories and memories with friends that I can share with anyone, anywhere that I go to, right? I have crazy stories in Brazil, in Colombia, in Mexico, and it just makes you a well-rounded person. Not to mention all the cultural benefits that you get. You just become a more open-minded individual who has a different lens perspective on life. And this is one of the big reasons that I love travel. I think it's extremely important, and I think everyone should leave their hometown, leave their home country, and at least experience something new once or twice in their life. And in fact, most people, when they want to retire, or if you ask someone, hey, if you won the lottery today, what are you gonna do? Most people, after they get their like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house and I'm gonna buy a Lambo or luxury car or watch or Rolex, after they tell you these like materialistic things, they all say the same thing: travel. Oh, I'm gonna travel when I would love to travel. I'm gonna wait till I'm retired. I'm gonna wait till I'm 65 before I'm able to travel. It's completely flawed. You don't need to wait to 65. It's cheaper than you think. And you can have a lot of fun. And you can do it at any age. Okay? And we're gonna cover that. If you have a family, if you have a significant other, that's okay, you can still travel. In fact, go to YouTube and just type in family traveling to Italy, 4 kids. Or just write family traveling Thailand, 4 kids, 5 kids, however many kids you have. And I guarantee there's a family that's doing it. And it's probably good for your kids because now they're getting a new perspective as well. So anyone can do it. If you go down the rabbit hole of living the digital nomad life and traveling, you'll see that there are all kinds of people that are making this work. And the crazy thing is, a lot of these people are making less money than you, right? With our business, we can make 4K, 5K, 6K, 10K, 20K per month. But a lot of people are traveling and making it work off of 2K or 3K a month because they don't have as good of a vehicle as we have. They don't have the reoccurring income. They sign one website, they make 5K, and then for the next 2 months, they're broke. They don't have any websites, right? So we have it pretty good because of the reoccurring revenue. The big thing that you want to remember when you're traveling is just don't overcomplicate it. Again, we're gonna mention some advanced strategies here, but the big thing that you want to focus on, your main focus, your number one priority is to grow your business to a full-time income. Grow it to 4K, 5K, 6K per month ASAP, and then do this other stuff. Could you focus on getting a good credit card or multiple banks before that? Of course you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. Your number one priority is getting new clients. Then focus on the other stuff. Then get the credit cards and use the points to travel for free, which I'm going to teach you how to do. And then focus on getting the multiple banks and so forth. The other big worry that people always hit me with is, oh, is it safe? Oh, I Googled Colombia, or I Googled Mexico or Brazil, and it seems so dangerous. And yet these are 3 countries that I lived in this year. And when I'm in Brazil, the area that I stayed in, I look around and everyone has Audis, BMWs. I saw luxury cars. I saw Ferraris. People have nice things. Okay, everyone thinks that these third world countries, they're just all poor and everyone's playing soccer on rocks because they can't afford shoes and they're going to steal your iPhone as soon as they see it. And I think it's this hyper dangerous environment. When in reality, yes, those areas do exist, but most likely it's not going to be where you're staying. In Colombia, where I live, very safe, very luxurious. The gyms I go to are nicer than the gyms that I have back in the US. In fact, I feel when I go back to the US and then I go to the gyms there, I go to, let's say, a grocery store there, I feel like I'm downgrading, right? I get all my stuff delivered in Colombia, all my groceries, you can get a chef and all these things. So my quality of life is absolutely higher and it does feel safe. Now, of course, you have to move a little bit differently and we're going to cover that. But understand that not everything you see on the news is a reality. Yes, some person died in Mexico because of drug-related violence, but then look at your own home country. Did someone get stabbed because of gang-related violence? Probably. Did someone get killed because of some reason? Yes, probably. That kind of stuff happens all over, right? I can look up the news right now in New York City, and there's also a ton of gang violence, but yet tons of tourists and visitors come to New York City, right? So it's the same thing. You have to be careful, of course. We're going to cover that in future modules, but a lot of times it's safer than you think. So I hope you take this stuff seriously. I really hope that you highly consider traveling, even if it's not like your top bucket list thing to do, book flights, and you think it's this really expensive thing. I really hope you at least go on one trip to try it out, see how you like it, see how you like the adventure, see how you like working out of co-working spaces, because it's completely changed my life. All the connections, all the friends that I have is because I had the guts to travel. It's because I decided, yes, I want the adventure. It makes life more fun, more entertaining. You see new things. Sometimes you're so stuck in a pattern and you're so stuck in your day-to-day routine that it's no wonder you can't break out of it. It's because you need to have some kind of mental shift. You need to have some kind of creative just release. You need to change everything. You need some spontaneity in your life. You need to do something crazy, something you haven't done before. For me, this was travel. Every time I travel and I come back, my business grows. Because beforehand, I wasn't traveling full time. I was just taking quick trips. A week here, 2 weeks here, and I always came back more productive, more re-energized, excited to work. You also begin to appreciate the little things when you're back. You begin to appreciate your car a bit more. The tools that we're going to cover inside this video also may change. I'm going to give you the exact insurance I use, the credit cards that I like. If you see below a video that the tool is different than the one that I mentioned in the video, that's because I found a better one. I'm going to talk about how to get SIM cards in other countries and all of that stuff. And if you see, again, a different link, that's because I've upgraded and I found something that's better. So with all that being said, let's dive into the course. All right, so there is 2 ways of traveling that I like best. One is short-term and one is long-term. Short-term is anywhere from 0 to about 3 months, maybe 2 months. And then anywhere from 3 months to 6 months or above is longer term. And each of these traveling styles have their purpose. If you want to go into monk mode and you want to get stuff done and you want to grow your business, you just can't be traveling to 5 different countries in 5 weeks. You're not going to get stuff done. You're not going to have a consistent schedule. You're not going to have a consistent sleep routine, a good gym routine, a diet routine. You're always going to be looking for, where can I eat lunch? What's the best restaurant? What's this? What's that? Where do we have steady Wi-Fi? You're not going to be your best self at work. However, it could be more fun. If you're really into adventure and you want to see a bunch of stuff, you want to have a bunch of experiences, then this type of travel is going to be absolutely amazing. If you're in monk mode and you still want to go somewhere, pick a place that has really good Wi-Fi, and set up a routine. In the first week, do everything. Buy yourself a nice desk, a nice chair, find where the nearest gym is, right? Find where you like to eat, where you can get groceries delivered, where you can meal prep. Find everything at once and get your life set up. And I promise you, you're gonna be extremely, extremely productive. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if you are in a situation to where you wanna go to a place and you wanna stay there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, there's a couple options that you have. You can stay in hostels, or you can stay in Airbnbs, or sometimes you can find places on Facebook Marketplace, but really Facebook Marketplace is for longer term stays. Your best bets are going to be Airbnb or hostels. Now, if you are in your 20s or your late teens, you might enjoy hostels. Look into that. Hostels are like shared living spaces. So it's basically like bunk beds. Now, you can also go to a hostel though and book a private room. And the biggest benefits of hostels is that you're just surrounded by other travelers, by other backpackers. The other big benefit is that a lot of times they have an office, they have a co-working space. So you can go there and they have good Wi-Fi and you can get set up. Again, you can do your research on where you want to travel and what the best hostels are in that area. I'll give you more resources later when we talk about accommodation and stays. But that's the way I would do it. Schedule in work, but just know that you're only going to be productive for maybe half the day. People are going to come and they're going to talk to you, and then you're going to make friends, and then someone's going to invite you to go see the pyramids at 1 p.m. This all happened to me, by the way. And then you leave work, and then you leave stuff on the table, or maybe even sometimes when you're traveling, the Wi-Fi isn't as steady. So instead of doing a client meeting, you're trying to look for the nearest coffee shop. And this has also happened to me. So you need to decide what season you are in right now. And that's also why I recommend you don't start traveling until you hit about 4 or 5K per month in profit. That's reoccurring revenue. Because then you can decide. You can go traveling for a little bit, take 1 month, 2 months, travel, see new things, go new places, and then book a place for 3-4 months and just go monk mode. Have a steady friend group. Have a steady place that you like and just get stuff done. Just focus on freaking growing. So I like to cycle these two types of traveling in and out, right? So we've been in Brazil, like I said, many different cities here over the past couple months. But before that, I was in Colombia for 6 months. Then before that, I was in Mexico for many, many months. And so I was able to sit down and really focus, really concentrate. So keep these two styles aware and just understand what season you're in. It's okay if you're in your hometown right now and you've been grinding for 6 months, for a year. It's okay to take a 1 week or 2 week trip somewhere and just enjoy yourself, right? Bring your laptop, but work way less. That's okay. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to just get away and not stare at your freaking screen all the time. In fact, long term, this could give you more energy. So I like to mix these two styles of traveling together, and that seems to give me a good rhythm and excitement to life. Because when you're going monk mode, you're not doing really anything fun. You're just focused. And then when you're doing this whole adventure thing, you're mainly adventuring and then also doing some work to make sure that you're still productive. So the goal is to balance the two, have a lot of fun, but also be crazy productive. So you're ready to do a trial trip somewhere. The question now is, where should you go? The world is so big. What's the best place to go? What is the average prices? What's the Wi-Fi like? I'm going to show you a resource that I like to use that will help you plan your next trip. This website is called Nomad List. And if you go over to this website, I'm going to link it below this video. What you'll see is it actually ranks a bunch of different cities and countries, and it gives you a rough outline on the Wi-Fi right here. Top right, you see where it says 76 megabytes per second in Portugal. And then it gives you the average cost of living. This says 2,000. And again, I wouldn't necessarily go off of number 1 is better than number 10, but which number 10 is Medellin, which is one of my favorite places. But it does give you some of the top places that you can go that have really good Wi-Fi and also an amazing cost of living. For example, this place in Malaysia, right? 84 megabytes per second, very fast Wi-Fi. And it's cheap, less than $1,000 per month. Now, if you hover over it, it also gives you this rating and this score. And I don't really know how accurate it is, right? This is based on like group ratings and results and stuff. This site is, I believe you have to pay for it if you want access to the chat, but I've never paid for it. I just use it for ideas. That's it. So Bangkok, Thailand, Chiang Mai, right? Portugal. Keep in mind, when you first get started, I recommend you just pick some place that's close to where you live. So if you're in the US, a good place might be Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's very close. You fly into the Cancun airport. You take a 1 hour, 45-minute bus, and then you're in Playa del Carmen. And there's tons of digital nomads there, right? So maybe Latin America is better for you. If you're in Europe, then go someplace in Europe, right? If you're in Australia, I know a lot of those people love going to Bali, Indonesia. So it depends. A place like Thailand is very, very far for Americans. So I wouldn't go for a week. I wouldn't go to Thailand as my intro, like 1 week trip to traveling, because you're going to be jet lagged for half the trip. And then as soon as you get over being jet lagged, you're going to have to fly home. So if you're in the US, I recommend someplace in Latin America right here. You can pick Latin America, and then you can even adjust filters and you can see what's going on. Where's the best place? Right here, Playa del Carmen, Mexico. That's what I recommend. Buenos Aires is quite far if you're in America. Medellin is still further than Mexico. I actually wouldn't recommend Mexico City. I went there and I just don't think it's that fun. I've never been to Guadalajara, but there's Lima, Peru, Ecuador, right? Brazil, Havana, Cuba. I probably wouldn't go there either. I haven't heard that many good things about it. But nonetheless, you can go enjoy it. Maybe you'll even prove me wrong. It's funny, I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil right here, right now. And this is just an amazing resource that you can use to go anywhere that you want. Again, in the beginning, just go someplace for a week, for 2 weeks. And that's it. Just see how you like it. Get your passport and just get out of your home country. Just take that first trip. After you pick a spot here, let's say you're in Europe, and again, you can adjust these filters, but let's say that you want to do Azores in Portugal. So next you're gonna go over to Airbnb and just start looking at that city. Like this. Choose it. You can just choose random times. Okay, great. Search. And just start looking at the different options, right? Just start looking at what you can see. Okay, so it's $400 for me to stay there for a week. Okay, not bad. And you might just start seeing some nice places. For example, I did this with Bali. Now, Bali is very nice and it's also very cheap. So you might notice that this is way cheaper than your hometown, right? I mean, this is $147 to be here per week, right? And it's probably cheaper than you pay for rent. Now, there's obviously more expensive places like this. And by the way, another thing you should know is that it's actually cheaper to travel for a month. So they give you a monthly discount when you're there. But again, if you have $500, right, that's like 2 clients, then maybe it's worth taking a trip to Bali and living in a place like this and just refreshing your mind, getting out in nature, doing something different. So I love tropical places. Everyone's different. My sister, for example, loves being in the cold. So her ideal trip is probably to Alaska. So up to you, but start going on Airbnb and start making this seem more real. Start doing research. What you want to do here, and this is the goal, is you just want to get yourself excited. Realize that this is possible. Realize that this is real. That first trip you make, even if you stay for a week, you just start working there from the Wi-Fi, and then maybe you go get a coconut and then you put your feet in the water. You'll realize that this is so much fun and it's so different from what your friends are doing and from what your family's doing. And a lot of them won't even believe in what you're doing. There's still so many people like parents and maybe it's your friends, they don't think making money online is even real. So sometimes you have to also convince yourself. You have to prove it to yourself. And sometimes this is the biggest motivation that you need. Experience this cool life for a week. And I promise you, when you come back, you will have so much motivation And you won't want to ever go get a normal job. And you'll realize that this is the life that awaits you. And that will give you more fuel to keep doing those cold calls, to keep sending those DMs, and it will grow your business further. Everyone always thinks that all these countries are so dangerous, that everyone is always out to get you. Everyone is always trying to rob you. There's cars burning on the road and everyone's a drug dealer. And it's just so dangerous. You can't ever leave your little hometown. This is all fear mongering. This is what people around you say. And this is what people said about me when I went to Mexico, then when I went to Colombia, and then when I went to Brazil. People always say the same thing. And yet, when they watch my stories on Instagram or they watch my YouTube videos, they realize how nice it is. And they realize how there's just luxury cars everywhere you go. You're not really a target as much as you actually think you are. In fact, if someone is selling drugs, why would they have you as a target? You're their clients. Tourists are the ones who buy the drugs. So they're not going to do anything to you, right? In fact, these guys have millions and millions of dollars. They don't need it. Your biggest danger is probably going to be pickpocketing, or maybe someone that wants to steal your iPhone and you have it like this and someone's on a motorcycle and maybe they steal it. And this kind of stuff exists all over the world. Your best bet when it comes to safety and traveling. Now, I can't give exact advice because this is very broad. I don't know where you're going in the world, but what I can do is roughly teach you how to do research for safety. It's also a bit hard to teach because you start to develop a gut feeling. And this is a good skill to develop. You have a gut feeling to where you can look at a street or maybe some kind of alley and you just know something in your gut tells you don't go down there. Don't go that way. Sometimes it's really dark and you're better off calling an Uber. You're better off calling a taxi. If you feel like maybe there's someone following you, I don't know. You're better off going inside somewhere, inside of a public place like Starbucks, or just catching an Uber or standing next to a security guard on your phone than just continuing. So it's a bit hard to teach, but what you could do, and this is the best thing that you can do, because every country is different. Best thing you could do is go to YouTube and type in where you want to go, and then just type in safety. So if you're going to Bangkok, Thailand, type in Bangkok, Thailand, safety into YouTube, and people will literally give you the top tips, right? Same thing in Colombia or Mexico. Playa del Carmen, safety tips. Medellin, Colombia, safety tips. Buenos Aires, Argentina, safety tips. Now, don't overdo this and freak yourself out. I promise you it's going to be safer than you think. And honestly, most dangerous scenarios will be completely avoided if you travel in a group. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm solo traveling, I don't know anyone, I don't have any friends there, that's okay. Because when you end up in a hostel and when you're staying in a place like an Airbnb, and you're going to co-working spots, right? Maybe you're doing other activities like you're boxing or going to the gym. Your best bet is just to make friends. And then on the ground, ask your friends, hey, like, what are some safety tips you have for me? Where should I hang out? Where should I not? And even when you book the Airbnb, when you're on YouTube doing your research, and you can also check blogs, meaning you can also Google that, Bangkok, Thailand, safety tips. When you Google it, people have blogs all around this. And just avoid the areas that they say to avoid. Go live in someplace nice. In Medellin, Colombia, everyone will tell you you have to live in El Poblado. This is like the richer area with the nice apartments and with all the restaurants and everything. And every place has this, right? In Playa del Carmen, Mexico, it's the place by the beach. It's called like Fifth Avenue. And if you stay there, it's going to be safer. So Google it, start to see the safe areas, and live there. That's going to be your best bet. Every place is different. Any place I go to, that's the first thing I'll do. I'll Google the area and just Google for safety tips. Now, a lot of them will overlap and a lot of them will be very similar. For example, in Colombia or Mexico or most of these places in Latin America, if you're a guy and you're dating, I don't know what it's like to be a female traveler because I'm not one. But if you're a guy and you're dating, a lot of guys that do get robbed, it's because they use dating apps like Tinder. And then they're meeting people and then they get robbed or they get drugged. And then they wake up, their laptop's gone, their phone's gone. This happened to one of my friends. And his date stole everything. His iPad, his MacBook, his 2 iPhones that he had, everything. Even stole his passport. A lot of the stuff you can avoid by doing the simple things, right? Don't be drunk stumbling on a street at 4 a.m., right? It's basic level stuff that you shouldn't be doing anyways. You shouldn't be randomly stumbling on the streets in your hometown at 4 a.m. because that's dangerous there anyways. So a lot of it comes down to common sense and just developing a gut feeling. So if you're traveling somewhere, just go to Google, go to YouTube, do some research. You'll get the general tips, you'll get the general advice, live in a safe area, and you're going to be fine.
So there's one thing I want to add on to this whole dating app thing, because I know a lot of guys are going to shake their head and say, oh, well, I've used dating apps while traveling and this and that. So look, dating apps, they can work, but you have to be safe and you have to be smart. What I suggest you do is, if you're a guy or even if you're a girl dating, make sure you get the other person's Instagram page first. Make sure they are a real human being. Scroll down to their older posts. When is the last post that they made? Is it from 2 months ago, from 3 months ago? That's a bit of a red flag. Is their IG very generic? Do they not post pictures of themselves? If they have no photos of their face, this is the biggest red flag you need to freaking run. If they say they don't have an Instagram, that's a red flag. You're risking it. Now, when you do get their WhatsApp, okay, when you get their phone number, look at their WhatsApp history. Most people have had a phone number for a long time. So if you add them on WhatsApp and there's no profile photo and it says that profile has been created 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago, that's a little bit of a red flag. Now, again, these things individually might not discard that person if they have a very real Instagram page or Facebook page and then their WhatsApp is new. Maybe they just switched phone numbers. However, if all of these things are checking off as red flags, you are better safe than sorry and go the other way. And I would even go one step further and follow them on Instagram for a week. Do they post stories? Do they seem like a normal person before you actually hang out with them? If you're seeing too many red flags, just wait. Another thing that might happen is this person that you're texting or talking to is they may ask you if you live alone. And if they do that, that is also a red flag. If you're going on a date with someone and they asked you before you met if you live alone, that is not a good thing. They are seeing if they can rob you. They are seeing if it's easy to go to your house and steal all of your stuff. Now, there are also times, and I think this is probably more common for guys, where they try to bring a girl on a date, and then the girl says, hey, can I bring my friend? Now, the guy's thinking, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to go on a date with 2 cute girls. And instead of them raising any red flags, they say yes. And this is bad. If there are 2 girls, one could be distracting you, one could be trying to drug you. So on the first date, if you are not sure, do not accept this invitation. Say, no, let's reschedule. Again, better safe than sorry. If you're going to go on a date, do it one-on-one. Now, another red flag. If you are on the date and she says, oh, I have a driver, or oh, I called the Uber, right? If you're bringing her back to your house, first off, you shouldn't even be bringing home a girl after the first date back home, especially if you don't know her and she has these other red flags. Now, sometimes I've also heard from my friends that these girls will wait multiple dates. Sometimes it's not a one date. They're trying to steal everything, okay? They invest in the long term. But if you are going home with a girl after a date, maybe it's your second, third, whatever, you trust her more, and she says, hey, don't call the Uber, I'm going to call the Uber, and she calls it, or maybe she has a cousin that's going to drive you, these are all red flags. Because now she wants to know exactly where you live, and also that cousin that's driving you or that Uber driver that she called could be someone that she knows, and this person might help her rob you or take stuff out of your house. So you have to be very careful. This could be the getaway vehicle. Now, a lot of places, especially if you live in apartments, wherever you travel to, they're going to have some kind of security. In Colombia, this is extremely common. And if you're going to a place like Colombia and your building does have security, or anywhere else in the world, make sure you tell the security guard to take a photo of the girl's driver's license. And you can even mention this before you guys hang out. Hey, by the way, make sure you bring your license in case we go somewhere that you need it. And if she gives an excuse of, I don't have a driver's license, or, oh, I lost it, all of these are red flags. So make sure she brings it. Make sure your security guard at your front building, when you bring home a girl, make sure you instruct him to take a photo of that license. In case anything happens, you have her ID. And hopefully by me sharing all of this, it's not scaring you away too much, because you can certainly still go out, still meet people, still have fun, and still go on dates, but you do have to be aware of these things. And out of all my friends that have dated, I really only know 2 that got drugged and robbed. One was not on a date. One got drugged and robbed. He was just at a bar, and he wasn't even on a date, none of that. My other friend, this happened specifically from Tinder, and he ignored all of these red flags. The girl didn't have an Instagram page. She asked him multiple times if he lives alone, and the WhatsApp profile was extremely new. And he still went on the date with her, and there were also no clear photos of her face. So be very careful. Now, also one thing I'm going to add about safety when it comes to cars, when it comes to your cell phone. So most likely if something's going to happen, you're just going to get your cell phone stolen. If you're going to walk around, don't carry too much cash in you. But for example, if I'm using my cell phone and I am standing next to the road, I will never stand right by the curb, okay? I will always walk back a little bit and maybe even turn my back to the road so that way no one on a motorcycle, no one on a moped can come and take your phone out of your hand. This is extremely common in some places. Now, what's also common is if you're sitting in the back of an Uber and your window is all the way down and then you're holding your cell phone like this. It's common that a motorcycle can come, he'll reach into your window, take your phone, and then drive away, and you're not going to catch him. So you want to be aware of all of these things. If you're sitting in an Uber, just close the freaking window. Now, don't get me wrong. You can sit, keep the windows open. Maybe you're driving by the beach, you're blasting some music, you're vibing. You can do all of that. Just put your phone in your pocket, okay? And most likely this isn't going to happen. But again, since a lot of people are watching this, and also because I want you to be safe, I want you to be aware of all these things, this can happen to you. I've been traveling for years, and I don't really have any bad experiences like this. I am portraying stuff that I've heard, stuff that I've researched, and stuff that I know happens to other tourists.
One of the biggest objections that I get from people is they think that traveling is going to be so lonely. Oh, I don't have friends that want to come with me. I don't know how I'm going to meet people. You said it's safer to travel with a group. How am I supposed to meet a group? That's what we're going to cover in this video. I have built my network. I've made a lot of friends while traveling. As soon as you arrive, if you want immediate friends, even if you're not staying at a hostel, you're staying at an Airbnb, go hang out in a hostel. Everyone there is like yourself. They just arrive there. Everyone's friendly. Everyone's hanging out. They're all there traveling from random countries, and they're just looking to have fun, to make friends, to go out. And that's a great place to start. You want to start at hostels. Then you can go inside Facebook groups. You could type in expats. This is inside Facebook. Type in expats in blank city. Expats in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Type in the city and then type in the country. You'll find groups like this. And you can also make posts in groups and say, hey, any entrepreneurs or any business owners in XYZ city just landed looking for friends. And you can say that. If you have a hobby, it's going to be even easier though. So for example, if you like going to the gym, you can definitely make friends in the gym. Just the fact that you speak English, or maybe whatever language you speak, maybe you're Italian and English, then you'll meet some people in Spain or Argentina that maybe also look Italian or speak Italian, and then you have an instant bond. For me, English, when I see someone that is also looks like they're from America, or maybe they look like they're from Ukraine, I speak Ukrainian as well, that's always an easy in. I can always just go up and chat with them. We speak English to one another or Ukrainian, and it's always good. And you instantly connect with this person, and it's very easy to make friends. Now, as you do that over and over, they'll add you to different like WhatsApp groups. And if you just post about being an entrepreneur and wanting to do meetups inside these Facebook groups, I've also just made friends that way. And then they've invited me to their friend group or their circle, and then I get invited to another thing, and then all of a sudden I'm at a mastermind and I'm hanging out, and all the people around me make over 100K a month. And this is how you network your way into doors like this, right? And again, you might not even want to do this for business. You might just want to make friends just to go to the pyramids with, just to go cliff jumping with, just to go on some adventures with. That's okay. Other activities could be boxing gyms. It could be yoga. It could be Muay Thai. any sort of martial art. Maybe it's like a cigar lounge, really anything that you're into. Maybe you like painting and you'll go and just be a painter. Maybe you like photography, and so you join some photography group in that city, and then they all meet up. Maybe you're a skateboarder, I don't know, right? Maybe you like surfing, so you start surfing a lot, and then you meet people surfing. This is how you make friends, is you just start doing fun activities, then you have to just start talking to people. And then you'll make friends, and you'll get a friend group, and they'll invite you places, and it's actually very easy to make a friend group when you're traveling, because everyone is there to have fun. Everyone's open-minded, and they'll invite you places. And so don't feel so closed off in your circle. If you're working next to someone and you hear they're in marketing, I've made some great friends just at co-working places, and I hear them talking about Facebook ads. I hear them on a sales call or on a client meeting call or on a call with their team, and they're just talking about Facebook ads. I'll just go and chat with them, right? They're getting water, I'll get up and get water as well, and then just open up a conversation. Hey, you do Facebook ads, right? And then boom, now you made a friend that's also in your field. And eventually you'll start learning from one another. You'll start sharing skills and so forth. So really, the world is your oyster. Making friends is not as hard as you think. Let's move on to the next part. So what do you actually need before you start traveling? This is where the rubber meets the road, and we're gonna start getting all the technical details figured out. I told you this is gonna be in depth, so let's dive in. First thing you're gonna need, obviously, is a passport. Now, for some reason, US citizens don't like to have passports. No one likes to leave the country. So even if you don't plan on traveling, you're from the US or you're from any other country, and get your passport ASAP, because sometimes it's a long process to get it. So my suggestion, get that ASAP. Don't get it before you found the destination or you're already planning your travels. Get it now. Driver's ID. So this is like a driver's license, some kind of smaller ID that's not your passport. You'll need this because you don't want to carry around your passport everywhere you go. Let's say you want to go to an avenue, a concert or something with your friends. You don't want to bring your passport where it may get stolen. Also, what you want to do is you want to have pictures of your passport and your driver's ID saved onto your phone and saved into, let's say, a Google Drive folder. You want to be able to access it via the cloud somehow. So for example, if you lost everything, how would you get your passport? How would you get your driver's license? You have to have a photo of it saved. So let's say you log into your Gmail on a computer, you now have access to all of your details, right? So you want that. Health insurance. I like to use this one right here. You don't need health insurance, but I got this one and it seems to be working. I did my own research. There's a ton of different health insurances that work. This, I also saw a review of a guy that actually used this inside of a hospital, and it covers medical stuff, medical bills, all that. It's very cheap. It's $40 a month or something. I don't know. The pricing changes. So you can go on this website. Again, all this is going to be linked below the video. So you can go here, you can check it out. It works in most countries, if not all the countries. So you can take a look. This is what I have, and I just have it auto renew every single month. So I use that as my health insurance. So the only time that I've ever experienced needing a vaccine is when I went to Brazil, which is where I'm at right now. We needed a yellow fever vaccine, and you can Google that and you can just see what's required. Just go to Google and just type in vaccine requirements blank. And that's it. And then you'll learn about it. Also, a lot of times airline websites will tell you, but most countries, you don't need anything. And then if you're still unsure, post inside Facebook groups. So for example, if I wasn't sure about Brazil, I would post inside of some Brazil Facebook group and I would ask, hey, do we need vaccines to enter Brazil? So again, you could type in Brazil expats and find a ton of different groups. Cool. Amazon purchases. You want to get a lock for your suitcase. I linked up two right here. I'll show you what they roughly look like. So I have this one right here. It's been working well. You unlock it with a key, very simple. Here's another one. You can just buy it on Amazon. It's $13. It's well worth it. I actually had an iPhone that was taken out of my luggage by someone, and that's what made me purchase a lock. So make sure, now it's my fault for having an iPhone. It was a backup iPhone that I had inside my suitcase. It was an older one, so I'm not too worried about it. But make sure you get a lock for your suitcase. Some countries, you need a flight back. This has saved my life, this link right here. Make sure you save this. When you go to, let's say, Brazil from Colombia, you have to show them that you're flying out of Brazil. They literally don't give you the ticket, the boarding pass, unless you show them a flight back. Now, I like to buy one-way flights. I do not plan an entire year of where I'm going or whatever. And sometimes I don't even plan, 2 months out. I'll just buy a one-way flight to Brazil, book an Airbnb for a month, and then if I like it, I'll book another Airbnb and so forth, right? Sometimes you want to travel spontaneously like that. If you don't have a flight back, this website is amazing because what it does is literally within a minute, you just press book now, you type in your credit card, it bills you, it's like $16 right here, and then it gives you a flight anywhere that you want. So I booked a flight from Rio right here, and then I don't even remember what I chose. Pick something random. You can pick any date. If today's early January, I would just choose like the 31st, boom, right? You put in your email, this is important. You're gonna put your first name, last name, boom, next, and then you just type in your credit card details. It's gonna bill you $16, and it's gonna give you a valid flight. And I know this is valid because they scanned mine. So I purchased it, they scanned it, and then they said, okay, cool, we have your flight back. And then they printed my boarding pass. And I don't know exactly how it works, but I think what they do is they purchase a flight on your behalf. And then, so it's totally valid with your name and everything. And then they ask for a refund because most airlines, you can get a refund, 100% refund you can get if you do it within 24 hours. It seems like this one is valid for 48 hours. So you can do it a day before your flight and then you're all good. That's a really cool site. All right, Google Translate. Google Translate is amazing. I pretty much use it every single day. Download this app on your phone and there's going to be a setting. And if you don't see it, then you can just go to Google and type in Google Translate photo translator. What you can do is, let's say this was in Spanish or in Portuguese. You could take a photo of this right here and it will automatically translate it for you on the photo. So you don't have to manually type in text. You take a photo, it automatically translates it, and now you're good to go. So if you see a sign, take a photo of the sign, look at the photo, it'll be translated. If you're inside of a grocery store and you need water without gas or without flavor, without anything, take a photo of the water, it'll instantly translate it for you. This is a lifesaver. This is what I do also inside restaurants. I take a picture of the menu and then everything on my phone is instantly translated into English. This is how I order. Transportation. Most places do have Uber. Again, you can just Google it, right? So like Medellin, Colombia, Buenos Aires, Argentina, does it have Uber? Bangkok, Thailand, do they use Uber? Which I believe they do. If not, then have taxis. Make sure you negotiate a price before getting inside. There's other taxi tips and stuff you can learn off Google and YouTube, but that's another good way to be transported. All right, the VPN, good for changing your locations on both phone and laptop. Sometimes you need this to access your bank or use other websites. So a VPN just changes your location. I use this one right here. It's called Private Internet Access right here. You can just do the 1 month. So don't worry, by the way, this is not $60 a month. This is reais. So this is the Brazilian currency right here. It's not very much. So that's what I use. I have the mobile app also on my phone. So if I ever need to use a VPN on my phone, I just get the app, I turn it on, and now my location is back in New York. So if I want to use my bank, mobile banking in New York, I activate the app and then I log into my bank. Very, very simple. Okay, language. If you want to learn a new language, I included this in here. You can use this app. It's called Duolingo. This will teach you the basics. I recommend to just do this for 10, 15 minutes per day for a month before going to a new country. Also, there is a website that my friend uses for online tutoring and education. I'm going to link that up below. I don't have that right now, but if you check below, I'll make sure the link is down there and you can book like cheap language lessons and you can learn one-on-one. Cool. For food, so Latin America, we use this app called Rappi to order food. Most countries have something like this. You can also Google that wherever you're going. Argentina or like Thailand food delivery, find some apps and then it'll change your life because then any food you want from any restaurant, you just press one button and then it's at your doorstep. So amazing, amazing hack. You need to get food delivery. Okay. Let's talk about self-service. I use this app. It's called Airalo. I think that's how you say it. You need a phone that accepts eSIM. Most new phones all accept eSIM. This one has the best prices. I have looked at a bunch of different ones. This one is the one that I currently use. I've been using it here in Brazil. It's been amazing. Activate it a day before you fly so you have service when you get there. And then you also want to enable your iPhone settings where you can place calls through Wi-Fi to your number. So if you have your number from where you're from, you can still use that internationally, okay? And then what you're gonna do is use this app to purchase a second SIM card. And I think the iPhone can have up to like 4 or 5. So, and then after you're done using it, by the way, you can also just delete it. So that opens up a slot for you as well. So I have my main US SIM card, and then I have a Brazil SIM card as well. And then when I go back to Colombia, I'm gonna have a Colombian SIM card. And so then literally as soon as I'm at the airport, all I do is just go to my settings, activate my Brazil SIM card. Now I have internet. Perfect 4G, 5G internet, lightning fast, very cheap. I think mine's like $10 a month, and it's more than enough internet that I need. So you can do that. Also, you can switch your mobile plan to the minimum plan so you can just keep your phone number. I've been in business for quite some time. I still have some clients that call my main phone number. So it is important for me to keep that. I suggest you also keep your main line if you want to talk to your friends and all of that. So if you need another number for whatever reason and GoHighLevel doesn't work, you can also use Skype. And this is for businesses, of course. I use Skype. It works well with Wi-Fi. So when it comes to Wi-Fi calling, I linked up 2 articles as well right here on how you can activate that on your Wi-Fi. If you're using Android, then you can probably do something similar. I don't have an Android, so I don't know, but you can Google it. So make calls using Wi-Fi on your phone. So again, when I can still call and text on my phone with my American number, even though I'm outside the Brazil, because I enabled Wi-Fi calling and then also Wi-Fi texting. And so the tutorials below this will show you exactly how to activate that. And then once you activate Airalo, then you'll have that as your other SIM card to whatever country that you want. Now, when you use my code, this is a referral code, you get $3 and I get $3. So just use that code at checkout if you'd like, and then you can get a couple bucks there. Let me just show you what the main website looks like. So boom, right? You can activate so many countries on this one app. And it's so cool because you just get the app on your phone and you just pick anything you want. Let's say you're going to Egypt. Boom, choose Egypt. Okay, what does it look like? We have, okay, you're there for 30 days, $17. You instantly have internet. As soon as you arrive to the airport, right? Purchase this one day before, so you have it all set up. And then as soon as you land, your airplane is on the ground, you activate this and you instantly have internet. It's so convenient, trust me. I used to have to go and like buy local SIM cards and everything, all that. I recommend you just get the highest level plan. I think the one in Brazil I got, it was like 5 gigs, or maybe it was 10 gigabytes, for 30 days. And it was like the same price, 20 bucks. I don't know, maybe 25 bucks. So highly recommend you take a look into this. They have pretty much every country. They even have like the US and Canada and first world countries on here as well. So take a look into all of that and you should be ready to start traveling. All right, so let's talk about housing. Let's talk about negotiating housing prices, where to find apartments for rent, everything related to where you can live. So again, first option is you can stay in a hostel. If you are younger and you just want to have a good time, you want to be surrounded by people and you want everything to be taken care of for you, you can stay in a hostel. You can book a private room if you don't want to be like in the bunk beds and all of that. And that's great. This is more so focused on people that want to stay in their own place. Most of the time, 99% of the time, I would just suggest that you use Airbnb. This is the safest and the best option. Is it going to be the cheapest? No. Have I booked places from Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups and all of this? Yes, I have. But if this is your first trip, just keep it real simple. Book on Airbnb. Once you're on the ground and you have some connections and you have friends, you'll meet realtors and this kind of thing. Especially if you start going someplace consistently, you'll make friends, or you might meet someone in a co-working space or at the gym, and they'll give you the number of the person that rented their current apartment. And then that's obviously more trusted. So here's how you can still negotiate on Airbnb though. So let's say you find a place you like. Okay, great. I like this one. You're going to open it up. And then what you're going to do is message this host, tell them you like the apartment, tell them you're thinking about staying, and then ask them to send you a video. Now, they cannot send you a video on Airbnb. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, I can't send it. So then you're going to put IG, put the letters IG, and then put your Instagram username in there, and then have them message you on Instagram. So now you have them off of the platform. Now, one thing you do have to know though is technically this is against the Airbnb policies. I haven't gotten in trouble with this. Get them off Airbnb. Again, if you want to negotiate it, Airbnb takes like 20% of the fee. So if you want to pay less, start talking to them on Instagram, and then you can book the place there, and you already know how it looks, and then they can go in the back end. They can give you a cheaper price, and then also they can block it on those dates. Sometimes they're not cool with it. They want to do it through Airbnb because it is safer for them, right? If they're thinking, okay, maybe this tourist wants to come here, throw parties, destroy my apartment, now I have no insurance. So that is an important thing to consider. Again, don't overcomplicate your life. If this is your first trip, your second trip, just book the Airbnb. The way we usually do it, if I want to book a longer term trip, let's say I'm staying for 4 months, 6 months somewhere, I'll book the first month on Airbnb. And then once we're in person, I will negotiate then and say, hey, let's do this off of Airbnb. And typically, if you're booking a place for many, many months, Airbnb, the fees, they really do add up, and it's much better just to book it directly with the person. So let's talk about Facebook now. You can go into Facebook and just search like expat groups, Buenos Aires, Argentina expat groups, Thailand, like this, right? Like expats. And you can just go inside the group and just say you're looking for an apartment. There's usually tons of these groups. You'll find pages as well, like this, that advertise apartments that they have and like living places. You can see here, okay, 2-bedroom duplex in Poblado. I know that's a good area. You hit see more. A lot of times they'll give you, boom, Wi-Fi, right? Very, very fast. Gives you the location for Google My Business, and it's very easy. You can just message the host, right? Tons of apartments right here that are off of Airbnb. This one looks pretty nice. A lot of times they also have the price. Yep. So price, so 30,700,000. That's like, I don't know exactly. It's like maybe it's like $800 a month. So not bad. So anyways, this is also how you can find places by going into pages like this. I've never used this page, but I've randomly found it inside of a group. I just did what I'm telling you. I typed in housing, Medellin, and then I found this page. And then I went on the page and I see that they're active. So you can just shoot them a message right here, right? Message, or you can send them a WhatsApp and just start talking to them, and just to give you the options that they have. When you're posting in groups, again, it's a bit more dangerous because any random person could respond and say, yes, I have an apartment, and then send you random photos and then ask you for some kind of deposit and then just disappear and vanish, right? So you send some random person money and then you're like, okay, cool, where's the keys to the apartment? And then they disappear. So scams do exist like this, and that's also why I'm suggesting Airbnb. But honestly, I've done it. I've shown up to a country that I've never been, specifically Colombia, like this, and then just trusted a person's word. Like this right here, as furnished apartment for rent. Again, I have no idea who this person is. I just randomly searched rent, and then they usually have like, okay, 24/7 security, blah, blah, blah. I see the photos, it looks good, all good. It's better though if you find a page. If they have a real page with real likes, it's usually more trusted than if you find a random person like this. Like, I have no idea who he is. He's also not even a member of the group. See, that's a red flag. Maybe the owner kicked him out of the group. Interesting. He lives in Miami, but he has an apartment in Medellin, Colombia. So I don't know. I would just find groups like this. You can also go to Google and just type in apartments for rent in blank city, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Bangkok, Thailand, Chiang Mai, Thailand, I don't know, Egypt, wherever it is that you want to go. Bali, Indonesia. But for the most part, you don't want to go back and forth. Just stick with Airbnb. It's the simplest, it's the safest. Your money is secured. If the apartment is not as advertised, you can also get your money back by reaching out to Airbnb support. If the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can get your money back, and you can say, look, I asked them if the Wi-Fi is working. They said yes. I do Zoom meetings. I can't live here, they'll get you a refund, they'll put you up in a new place. But again, if you're going to stay somewhere longer term, make sure they have reviews, make sure they have a website like this, right? Okay, cool, they have a website. Look at their Google page, look at other people and what they've said, right? Look at other apartments that they have. This seems like a real company to me. Especially if they have their WhatsApp, they have an email, they have a domain. They should have videos. They also should have a Google My Business location. It seems like they don't, but again, that's okay. Okay, they do have an Instagram page, right? So check out their social media and just take a look at what they have and what they post. Do they get likes? Okay, amazing. So this is a company I would trust, and chances are they're probably cheaper than Airbnb, because if you're booking them for 6 months or 4 months, then you're just naturally going to get better prices. So I hope this all made sense. I'll see you in the next one. Now imagine doing everything that we are talking about except getting free flights everywhere, getting free upgrades, at times even getting free hotels, and not needing to worry about upgrading your seats to first class or getting the priority boarding and check-ins that you probably want. What we're going to cover in this module is how to take advantage of credit cards and how to use points properly so that you don't have to pay for flights. And the cool thing is, you don't really have to do anything different. All you have to do is just slightly switch how you spend your money. So instead of using a debit card, you can use a credit card. Now, again, none of this is financial advice. That's why I have a disclaimer below this video. However, I'm just going to share with you what's worked very well for me, how I travel everywhere. This is also what all of my friends do as well, and it's working very, very well. So let's actually dive into the document that I have here. So here are some of the benefits, and I'm going to give you my exact credit cards as well that I use. Here are the benefits. If your card is lost or stolen, then the credit card company is going to reimburse you. I'm also going to link up a book below this as well. It's really good, that talks about banks or credit cards and all that stuff. So if you're a complete beginner and you want to know more about this, you could check out that book. It's going to give you everything that you need. So there's a ton of other benefits outside of just like free flights. And for example, if you use a debit card and someone starts to use your debit card, and again, this is even true in your home city, wherever you live right now. If someone steals your debit card, or you leave it on the train or on a bus or in, I don't know, in a coffee shop, and they go to an ATM, and let's say somehow they're able to take money out, or maybe they can't, but then they still go to a store, they buy themselves a new TV, they buy a new PlayStation, you can't get that money back. Even if you say someone stole this card, that money's gone. And there's not much that they can do. You can try to argue with your bank, and some banks will give it back to you, but a lot of times they won't. If you have a credit card, and if you go to your credit card and you say, hey, this card was stolen, none of these purchases are mine, they're going to reimburse you right away. And that's the huge benefit. Now, again, I'm from the US, so I'm going to give you US options of credit cards. And the thing is, once you know what you're looking out for, you can find your own credit cards in whatever country that you live in. Because there's really some main universal traits that you want inside your credit card. And by the way, even if you're not from the US, I've heard of people getting, let's say, American Express, even though they're outside the US. The way that they did it, I don't know the intricate details, but they opened up an LLC business inside the US, and then they used that business to apply for a credit card here, and then they got approved. So again, I don't know how that works. I'm a US citizen, so for me, it's very easy to get these cards. Now, if you have bad credit, then you will not qualify for these cards. You have to get something more basic. If you need to get a basic credit card, I recommend going to Discover. So Discover has like basic credit cards that pretty much anyone can apply for. You can get approved, or you can go to your bank and just build up your credit more slowly. Now, let's keep moving. So you're going to earn points for everyday activities, and then you're going to use those points on travel. And then also, when you use your points on travel with these credit cards that I'm going to give you, you actually get more points off of that, right? So for example, one flight might be like, let's say $400 or 50,000 points, or maybe it's $350 and then it's, I don't know, around 40,000, not 4,000, I meant 40,000. So as you spend money, you're going to accumulate these points because you're just naturally living your life. And then it's going to get easier and easier as you continue growing your business, because you're going to have contractors that you pay. You're going to have different softwares that you pay, like GoHighLevel, like a bunch of other ones. And then your expenses are going to start racking up your points. And so you can get a free flight. Even in the beginning, when I wasn't making much, I was still getting a free flight per year. It took me one whole year, but I still got a free flight. And so it was all worth it. The other one is going to be no foreign transaction fees. And we're going to cover more in the points here in a second, by the way, once we actually look into each individual credit card. So no foreign transaction fees. So these add up like crazy because you're using your card every single day. So typically, if you have a US card, let's say you go to Mexico, Colombia, you swipe that card, you have to pay a foreign transaction fee because it's outside the US. If you use your debit card, if I use even my other credit card that my bank gave me. But when I use these credit cards that I'm sharing with you, they waive all of that. There's no fees. I can swipe my card like normal. It does the conversion in real time and it charges me no fees. So it saves a lot of money. Okay, it builds your credit. So you get better deals on loans in the future, for example, cars, real estate, everything. This is true for both your personal and your business accounts. It just builds your credit. And again, it's not a video on credit. You can check out that book that I link up if you want to learn more about credit and how it all works. So travel and purchase protection benefits. So overlay like trip cancellation, trip interruption, insurance, extended warranty protection, all of this. A lot of times this insurance comes with your credit card. So you don't have to buy extra flight insurance when using this card. And the insurance that you have to like check the box when you're checking out your flight. Hey, do you want to protect this flight? You don't have to check that because your credit card gives you automatic protection, automatic flight delays and everything. And a lot of times your credit card, if your flight gets delayed or canceled, they'll pay for your hotel for you to sleep somewhere overnight. So it's very good. All right, credit to stores like Walmart, hotels, etc. So some credit cards, they literally will just give you like, hey, here's $200 you can spend at Walmart this year. And they'll just reimburse you for that as like a bonus. You want to be careful of credit cards though, and you only want to use this as a tool to collect points. Do not buy stuff on credit, AKA do not spend money that you don't have. So if you want to buy something technically, let's say you have, this is roughly how it works. If you have $1,000 in your bank account, you buy something for $2,000. You can make monthly payments on that. You can pay each month the minimum balance and you don't have to spend $2,000 up front. I never recommend doing this. I don't like doing this. I've never once done this in my life. Do not spend money that you do not have. Credit cards can be your best friend or they can absolutely destroy you. Credit card debt is extremely serious, and you have to understand that it's very difficult to also get out of because the interest rates are so high and you end up paying back so much more than you spend. So don't do it. Spend money that you have. Let's take a look at actually what cards I like and what cards I recommend. So when it comes to personal, I like the Chase Sapphire Preferred. You can earn 60,000 bonus points. And these are great travel cards as well. The points really add up. But even if you don't really want to travel, you can use these in hotels and a whole bunch of other stuff. So 60,000 bonus points. Let's actually go into, now again, this is a referral code on both of them that I have because it does give you other bonuses. Like here's an example on the American Express one. So instead of you getting 70,000 points, you get 130,000 membership points. So I have a history with these companies. And so when you use my link to sign up, you also do get bonuses. So this one is the personal one, Sapphire Preferred. I use this on my personal account. So earn 60,000 bonus points after you spend 4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months. So these deals always change. I'm not going to focus too much on the deal, but honestly, that's $750 towards travel when you redeem through Chase Ultimate Rewards. Yeah. So you get 60,000 points. It does have an annual fee. Both of these do have an annual fee, but I have found that they're still worth it. The amount of value that I get from free flights outweighs the annual fee. I get all that money back anyways. The way these credit card companies make money is they're hoping that you spend too much and then you have to pay it off over time. And then they could charge you for that. They could charge you extra. But the way you can take advantage of them is by just being really good on your finances. And you can set up like automatic payments. So just check a box that says automatically pay the entire amount every single month, and then you'll be good. So right here, right, $50 annual credit towards hotels, right, 5x points. For example, if you purchase a flight that is, let's say it's $100, you're gonna get 500 points for that flight, right? Because it's 5x points. 3x points on dining. You spend $100 at the restaurant, you're gonna make 300 points on that dinner. Again, just an example. Okay, streaming services like Netflix, whatever. So again, just take advantage of all this stuff, right? It's all, you're already spending money on all of it. You might as well be getting points and then using those points to book flights, right? And you can also transfer to airlines. This is also a good travel hack. So if you have an airline, sometimes it's actually better to take those points and transfer them to an airline and then use them on the airline because it's more bang for your buck. Not always, but this can definitely be a hack. The customer support on Chase is good. I can also confirm. And then also travel and purchase protection, like we mentioned right here, right? Trip cancellation, trip interruption. So now you're saving money on your flight protection. That's usually $60, $80, $100, whatever. So, oh, right here, no foreign transaction fees, $0, right? So you don't have to pay for that. Next one is American Express. This is what I use for business. I highly recommend you use just the business gold. I use this for a long time. Annual fee is $300. And yes, it's a little bit more. However, the bonuses are insane. So 4x your points on whatever you spend the most money on. So let's say you spent $1,000 on ads to grow your agency. That means that month you are going to get 4,000 points. 4,000 points. You do this for a couple of months and that's a free flight, right? And by the way, just because this is a business expense card, you can use these points on personal items, right? So if you're just booking a trip to Cancun, Mexico, it's obviously not a business expense, but you can use these points to book that flight. And then you book it on Amex Travel, which is on their website, and you get 3x points. So you book a flight for $100, you make 300 points, right? So let's keep on moving here. Okay, Walmart credit, like I mentioned. Okay, FedEx credit, flexible business credit. The gold one is really nice. It's a nice card, it's metal. Once you're more advanced, you can also upgrade and use the Amex Platinum. And the biggest difference is for the Platinum is you get lounge access and you get like priority boarding and a bunch of other stuff. You can get that later on. I'll also put that link down below. But for now, really the gold card is amazing. I got this one when I was at around 4 or 5K per month. And it served me very well. It served me very well. As you can see, you get a ton of points on gas stations, really everything, right? 4x points. So just by you existing in the world and spending money normally, you get a bunch of benefits. So same thing, no foreign transaction fees. We're not going to cover all the bonuses, but you can go through and you can check that out yourself. The last point I have here is that good support is extremely important because you never know. If your car gets lost or stolen, you want to have support that responds back right away. Or if you see a card or if you see some kind of billing on your statement that you don't recognize, you don't know what it is, you can contact support and they'll help you instantly. American Express is known for their support and how amazing it is. And I can confirm, honestly, both these supports are really good, but American Express is next level support. If something happened to your flight, all you have to do is start a live chat and they are instantly on it. When you call them, it's instantly like a US agent. You're not talking to some person overseas that don't know what they're talking about. You are speaking with a professional and they'll be happy to help you. So I like these two. Of course, there's more, but you can check out the description down below this video and you could do some research yourself. This one's gonna be super fun. I'm busting out the drawing board. We're gonna talk about banks. We're gonna talk about safety. We're going to talk about general structure. Now, again, I want to re-emphasize that you should not be so focused on this when you're not making even 4, 5, 6K a month. This is a good structure to have. It's not the only structure that you can have while traveling, but I have found that it is extremely useful. So let me go ahead and explain how it works. So we have personal, and then we're going to have business. So here's what you're gonna do. You probably already have a bank account, I assume. So let's say you have this one bank account And let's say maybe you are, well, hopefully if you're around 4 or 5, 6K a month, you probably already have a business bank account as well. If you don't, you're probably gonna need one soon. So this is your business bank account. So you have a personal and you have a business. Maybe it's even in the same bank. So this might be your general structure right now. In the beginning, you can start your bank, your business bank, your whatever, that's more local to you. You could also find one that's online. So what I recommend you do is you open up another personal account right here under the personal section, right? So I'll even highlight it, boom. And what you're going to do here is when you start traveling, and in general, even in your hometown, your home country, I would not advise you carry around a debit card that leads to this account, okay? This account right here is what has all of your money, okay? This is your main bank account. You could also have online savings accounts like over here and this and so forth, but this is like your main one. I would create, if I were you and I was just about to start traveling, another bank account. I like to use Capital One, their online bank account. They don't have foreign transaction fees, so it works really well. So we'll put in Capital One, C-O, Capital One. And so now the reason for this is because imagine you are walking around Thailand and you're carrying a debit card. So you're gonna need to take cash out of an ATM, right? You can't really do that with a credit card. We covered all the credit card hacks and everything, but to take out cash, it's not good for that. You still need to travel with a debit card. So what I want to do is instead of traveling with a debit card that's coming out of, let's say, I'm going to change the color here. So let's say we have a debit card from this bank account, right? And you're walking around Thailand, walking around the streets, and you lose it somewhere. So you lose this debit card. The person that finds your debit card now has access to all of your funds. They have access to your entire bank account, basically all of your money. They can use that. Now, some banks are more secure than others. They'll lock the card if they see you spending $500 or $1,000 or whatever. They don't let you spend more. But still, some of them allow them to make big purchases, and you can still lose out on thousands and tens of thousands of dollars potentially, depending on your bank's security. So what if instead of carrying that, we had this other bank right here, this Capital One bank, and you walked around with a debit card here. So you walked around, and if anything ever happened and you lost this one, all they would have access to is just this backup personal bank that you have. Now you're much safer, right? They don't have access to your main personal business bank account. And this is good to do even in your home city, like I mentioned earlier. The way you get money from the first bank to the second one is you just simply transfer it. So you go into here, boom, you transfer it. Now this has, let's say, if your main bank has, let's say, $1,000, this one might only have, I don't know, 200, 500, right? And you can scale that up too. So if this bank has 10K or 100K, this one might only have 1K, right? So now maximum, they're capped at how much someone could potentially steal from your bank account. Steal or use, and this is, again, very normal. If you go to New York, you can very easily get robbed in New York. Same way you can very easily get robbed in London by walking around. So this is a good structure that I think you can take advantage of. There's tons of other banks now. I have a slightly more complex structure than this, so we're not going to go into mine, but I think this is a good one that you can use, and you could be very, very safe. Now, when it comes to business banking, if you have American Express, like we talked about, this could be your main bank. This is whatever your home bank is that you signed up in the beginning. You can use this one. But let's say you set up another one right here. This secondary bank, you could create an online one, and this could be Amex. They have an online bank. So you could have it here, and it's there, but it's not really as important as the personal one, because you shouldn't be walking around with a debit card that goes to your business bank. That's very dangerous. I wouldn't, if I'm traveling, I wouldn't even bring that debit card. Even if I'm in my local town, I don't really go around with debit cards ever, 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 ever. I use my credit card for everything. Because again, if you have a credit card, your Amex credit card that's linked to this account, someone steals your Amex credit card, all you have to do is just report it and they're going to refund all that money back. Because again, it's not being pulled from your business bank account, it's being pulled from your credit card account. And you're going to tell them and they're going to be able to refund you all that money that was stolen. So that is a good structure. That's a good like backup structure on what you can have. It's more important to have multiple business bank accounts when you have over 250K in your bank. So this is slightly more advanced. When you have $250,000 in your account, then FDIC does not insure it. You can Google this. Again, I don't know. As you can see here, if there's an FDIC insured bank, it covers $250,000 right here. So if let's say you start growing your business, it's going very well, you don't want to just have one bank because if something ever happens to that bank, and again, this is just a good general structure. Something ever happens to that bank, you want to have multiple banks and you want to diversify your money a little bit. So again, not really for beginners. Don't focus too much on this. I would, however, create 2 personal bank accounts no matter what level you're at if you are traveling. Business, this gets more complicated and you're dealing with multiple bank accounts, multiple countries, all that stuff. So don't worry too much about that for now. Next thing that we have to talk about is your passwords. Please do not have the same password for all of these different banks. That is asking for disaster. Also, do not save passwords onto your phone, onto your laptop when it comes to anything, banking, credit card, anything. Do not save passwords on your browser. Do not save them inside of mobile apps. Mobile banking is huge. In fact, when I started traveling, I deleted mobile banking apps off my phone altogether. If you're traveling to another country, and if you lost your phone, you do not want them knowing what bank you use, whatever. So passwords should be different on all of them. You should not have them saved anywhere, not in any Google files, not written down anywhere. You should know this by heart. It should be in your mind only. Every single bank is completely different. And I don't mean one password and just like an extra number at the end. I mean an actual different password for every single bank that you have. So chances are you're not going to have any of these issues. But if you follow a model like this and you structure your personal life, this is more important for personal life, whether you have a business or you don't, or you're employed, or whether you're traveling, even if you're not traveling, this is just the safer route that you want to go down to keep yourself protected from anytime you lose your wallet or someone steals your wallet, anything at all. This keeps you safer. I'll see you in the next video. All right, so one thing you need to understand before we dive into this video is I am not a tax expert. I am definitely not qualified to give you any sort of tax advice. Read the disclaimer below that's been below every single video inside of this course before you continue. Absolutely, you should speak to an expert and you should get someone else to take a look at your unique situation. What I'm going to be sharing with you is just a simple page on the IRS website. And also, I'm a US citizen, by the way, meaning that I do not know. I'm from the US. I don't know how the other countries work. I don't know in your country what they do and what income exclusion or how it works when you live in other countries. You're going to have to consult someone. You're going to have to consult an expert from your country, and he can give you some kind of advice that I am not able to give. So let's dive into the foreign income exclusion. So the foreign income exclusion is for US citizens or US residents who are physically present in a foreign country for at least 330 full days, as you can see here, during any 12-month period. What that means is you qualify for this if you travel full time. No one talks about this. If you spend 330 days outside of the US, you qualify for what's called a foreign earned income exclusion. Now, what does that mean? That means that for 2022, if you made $120,000, or rather for 2023, also on top of that, certain amounts for your housing. okay? Meaning how much money you've spent on housing, rent, all of that. And you can save a lot of money on taxes because you are not in the US. Most countries probably have something similar to this. Maybe they're called something else. But what I advise you to do is simply look into this. And if you're going to travel full time and you're only going to be in the US for, let's say, a month, 30 days, then you might want to look into this because you would end up saving a lot of money on taxes. Speak with the tax advisor as well and see if it fits your unique situation. How much money can you save? That depends on you. I will not give you a solid figure here. You can go through the links below this video and read through some of the examples yourself, but I can tell you, you save a pretty decent amount of money on taxes if you classify yourself as foreign income, right? Foreign earned income, meaning you just live outside the US. I'll also include this document right here. This one's for 2022, but again, do your own research. Go to Google and then just type in foreign income exclusion, type in the year, 2024, 2025, and so forth. So this is something for you to look into, do your own research, and consider it yourself if you want to travel full-time. Congratulations. You made it this far. You made it through the entire program, which probably means that you are pretty serious to at least experience this style of life, whether it's for a couple of weeks, a month, a couple months, up to you fully. And again, you don't have to make this a routine. You don't have to be a full-time traveler like I am. Maybe you just want to go to a couple different countries and stay there long term. Maybe you want to look into potential countries that you might want to invest in, meaning you want to buy a house in. Maybe your ideal life from here is to have a house in your current country, then maybe a house in Thailand, maybe a house in Greece, maybe a house in Spain, maybe a house in South Africa, maybe a house in Argentina, right? Maybe you pick 3 of those places and you rotate it, meaning you rotate where you live during certain seasons. Maybe you like the sun, maybe you like the cold, and you just want to live in different places. This is a great prerequisite for all of that. And you get to live a very adventurous life. I'm super passionate about this while building something long-term. If you travel this way and you make friends and you also have great experiences and also build your business, everything will rise. You'll be more motivated than ever. Plus you'll have the best friends you ever made. And really, you could enjoy this whole process. Maybe you'll enjoy it so much that you'll want to travel, or maybe you'll find your own rhythm. And this is what I recommend you do. Try both. Try the longer term one, try the shorter term one. And I have friends that aren't even really into travel that much. They don't like the constant change and airplanes and everything. And that's okay too. So here's an action plan for you. Step 1 is I want you to pick a starter city as a trial run. Make sure the city is not very far. Okay, please don't book a trip to Africa. Don't book a trip to Thailand if you're in the US, unless you're really ready. If you're just doing an experiment, you could even go within your same country. Just book somewhere that you've never been. Just go on a new experience. Look at some Airbnbs. Just start really considering just go on a 1-week trip, okay? Tell yourself that you deserve it and just go do it. Just go change your environment. Bring a journal, bring a notebook. Start writing, just get creative. It doesn't even have to be this adventurous thing. Sometimes you just have to change your environment. And that's what I want you to do is save a bunch of Airbnbs to a wish list and then also look at Airbnb experiences in that area. You could also look at hostels if you'd like. I'm gonna link up a nice hostel website as well and just start dreaming. So create a wish list and just start adding apartments on Airbnb that you like into that wish list. Just start visualizing yourself being in this kind of environment. Next thing you want to do is join some Facebook groups in that city. So if you're going to a new country, you want to join some Facebook groups. If you're going to Mexico, Playa del Carmen, if you're going to Tulum, if you're going to Cancun, if you're going to Argentina, wherever it might be, go on Facebook, start looking for groups, and just join a couple groups just to see what people are saying. Don't be turned off though, because sometimes people yell at the top of their lungs. If you join the Colombia one, you'll think that Colombia is the worst country in the world. Everyone there makes it seem like it's like this hyper dangerous place. Beware, but also join the Facebook group. just see what's going on. Next, you're gonna start watching YouTube videos and just start getting excited about that area. So if you're going to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, go on YouTube and just type that in. Playa del Carmen, things to do. Playa del Carmen, experiences. Top things to do in Playa del Carmen. Find the city, start going on YouTube, start watching videos, look at other vloggers and other videographers, really anyone, and just start looking at it. Or maybe you have a couple different cities. Start watching YouTube videos about all these different cities, and you'll start to get a feel for where it is that you're going. Then I want you to look at flights, look at potential flight dates, and start thinking, if you have a job or maybe you're in school, think about your vacation time. When I had a job, I had a corporate job, I had 1 week off and I flew to Puerto Rico. I flew from Buffalo, New York during the winter to Puerto Rico. It was warm, I had a really good trip and I enjoyed it. I went to the water, I went to the beach, I did a bunch of hiking. I didn't do any work. I wasn't really a digital nomad, but still, I had an amazing trip and I just went to Puerto Rico. And that's a good entry ground. Puerto Rico is still, you can get there with a US passport. In fact, I don't even think you need a passport to get to Puerto Rico. You could probably just show your driver's license. Not 100% sure, you can do your research. Go there or go to Cancun in Mexico, Playa del Carmen. Start looking at flights, start thinking about possible dates on when are you able to make this happen. If you're in school, it's even easier. Go during the summer when you have no school. Go during the winter when you're on winter break. Easy. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Then, last step is book a 1 week trip or book a 2 week trip, depending on how long you have. Book that trip, book the Airbnb, book the Airbnb experience, book the hostel, book whatever. Go there and just do it. It's gonna feel nerve-wracking at first. Just go on this trip, follow all the safety advice that I gave you inside of this course, follow the course general structure, and book it. I'm super excited for you. Traveling and being a digital nomad, once again, has changed my life completely. It's so much fun once you can figure this out. When you're gonna go places that other people only dream of. People wait their whole lives until they retire so they can travel. And you're gonna do this early. You're going to see how much cheaper it is to travel to these countries. And you're going to see that you don't need to retire. You don't need to win the lottery to travel the world. Even if you don't enjoy it, book a thinking trip. Book a trip to where you can just go somewhere in nature, bring a bunch of books, bring a notepad, and just start planning your life. Even trips like this are beneficial. You see, it doesn't always have to be about where's the newest adventure, where can I go cliff jumping and this and that. It doesn't have to be that extreme. It doesn't have to be that advanced. Maybe just drive for 2 hours outside of your city and just book an Airbnb for a weekend even, if you don't want to do a week, or maybe you have no time off for another year. So look into this. Highly encourage you to do it. Hope you've enjoyed this course. I will see you on the next one.
All right, so you made it through the course so far. You made it through the safety, the tips, the tricks, the banks, the everything. And so now you're wondering, cool, Pavlo, well, show me how to actually make money. How can I make money and afford this lifestyle short term, or it could be long term, or it could even be periodically. So I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to make money online, how I was able to scale a company past $21,000 per month, travel the world, go anywhere I want. Let's dive in. I'm going to show you how you can make $100 to $300 per day using Google Maps, all online, all from your laptop. And then I'm even going to show you how you can deliver on these services by either using software, or you can hire someone from a place like India for a couple bucks and they will do it all for you. And the best part about all of this is that the client is going to pay you first, and then you are going to pay for the contractor or pay for someone else to deliver the services. So the first thing that we have to do is actually find someone on Google Maps. We can search up any city here. It does not have to be the US. And then we also need a niche to go after. So I'm going to choose roofing in Las Vegas because I used to live there. And what you're going to see is there's a bunch of different business owners that automatically pop up. Here we have some people that are running ads, and then we have a bunch of organic listings. And as you can see, the reviews range, right? Some have 100 reviews, some have 50 reviews, some have 20 reviews. But if you scroll all the way down, you'll see people
that have 7 reviews. You'll see people that have 9 reviews. And then if you go over to the next page here, you're going to see people that have even less reviews. Now, the crazy thing is when someone Googles any kind of service, roofing, plumbing, house cleaning, right, carpet cleaning, they're not going to go all the way down to page 2 to hire someone. And some of these business owners didn't even claim their business. And so what we want to do is take the people that don't have a website and have bad reviews, and we are going to help them rank a bit higher. Now, let me actually give you some examples. So let's start clicking into some of these different businesses. So as you can see, this guy has his hours on here, he has his services, he has a website. That's great. He probably can use more reviews, but he has some of the basics down. This person has a business.site domain right here, as you can see. This means this is a sample like Google website that was automatically generated for him, and it does not look that good. Google builds this automatically just when you set up the listing. And as you can see, other businesses here like King Roofing, they've been in business for over 10 years. I guarantee you they have more than 11 customers. The problem is that they never ask for reviews, and they don't even have a website linked up here, right? They have their address, a couple services, but that's it. And they're missing out on so much business. And as we keep scrolling, I'm willing to bet if I click into a bunch of other ones, I'm going to find so many unoptimized listings. And then you have others like this one, Renarian Long Roofing, who have 3 reviews, 2.3 star rating, and they've been in business for 7+ years, and they have nothing on here. No website, no services, absolutely nothing. And chances are they have no idea how this looks. Now, look, I don't expect you to sit on Google all day and try to search for these businesses, because we have tools that will automatically find this. This one right here is called Outscraper. You can type in the category. So let's say our niche is roofing. Let's put in the location Las Vegas, and you can hit get data, and it will automatically take all those businesses, scrape it, and put it in a nice spreadsheet like this. I put together a sample one just to show you roughly how it works. We have their name, their full address, right? We have their category, we have their phone number. Everything that you saw on that Google business listing is right here, and we can see the review count. Plus, we can even see if the business is claimed or not. If a business is unclaimed, like this one, 105 freaking reviews, but they don't even claim it, is the perfect client, because they obviously care, but they don't know that anyone can steal their Google My Business listing. One of their competitors can go in here, claim it, and just change the phone number to be their phone number. And this is extremely important. They have a 4.6 star rating, 105 reviews, and it probably took them a long time to get here. And so what you can do from here is actually reach out to these different businesses. You can either text them, you can call them, you can send them an email and just say, hey, I noticed you have bad reviews compared to everyone else. And then you can send them a couple screenshots of their competitors. A lot of these people are very competitive, and they just don't know how they appear. In fact, you can even hit the share button right here, get a link to their page, and just send it to them, and just offer to fix a couple things for free. Now, you can follow our website in a day script, where essentially you're just going to take a pre-templated website, put their logo on it, and just send it to them and say, hey, I noticed you don't have a website. I built one for you as a first draft. Let me know if you like it. Or you can go in and say, look, did you know these are your reviews? Can I help you get some more reviews completely for free? And that could be your foot in the door strategy. And this is very easy to sell, because everyone understands you need reviews. You can compare their business and let's say, and another company that's called ABC Roofing, and they have 90 reviews. You could ask the customer, look, if you didn't know who you were, you didn't know your competitors, you saw one business with a 2.3 star rating and 3 reviews and one that had 100 reviews, who would you choose? Who would you move forward with? And they're obviously going to choose the business that has more reviews, has a bigger reputation. Now, before you start thinking, I don't know how to build a website, I don't want to build a website for free, you don't have to do any of that. Look, what you want to do is use one template like this. It's all basically drag and drop. You can type it in like this. You can move the different elements however you'd like, and it looks good, right? It looks pretty much all complete. And all you're going to do is take their logo and just put it up here. Send them a link to this and say, hey, here's the first draft. Nothing is built, but this is my idea for your business. They are going to love it, okay? This is much better than some random crappy website that they have, or if they don't have anything. And this is also going to improve their ranking. And crazy thing about this strategy is that it literally takes you 2 seconds to swap a logo and send this to them. And all you have to do when you're picking this is just choose from one of these templates. As you can see here, we have all different niches from automotive, beauty and fashion. We have some dental ones. And all you have to do is just select that option, scroll down, see a template that you like, and just put their logo on top of it. Now, if they do then choose to hire you, what you can do is use AI to make all of that content for you. As you can see here, we have a button that says Content AI. You're going to press that button. You're going to write a brief description that says our company name is ABC Roofing. We have X amount of reviews. Write a description for this business. Then you hit generate, and it's going to automatically put it into that spot right there. And you can do that for the entire website. Now you have a website for roofing. Any roofing clients that you get across whatever country you want to do this in, you can use this exact same template. And if you work in multiple niches, then just pick a template from one of the pre-built ones. If you want all of our website in a day templates pre-built that you can just import into your account, you have full websites, so all you have to do is put in the business owner's logo, plus you want full scripts on what to say to these business owners on emails and texts, on calls, plus you want full training on how we do all of this step by step for each business owner, then you can head over to bestagencytools.com. And from there, you can start your free 30-day trial to the software that we are using in this video. You'll get instant access to everything, the entire program, all the coaching. You can join our community, and you can even ask me questions on Zoom. This is all completely free. All you have to do is sign up to that software, get a free 30-day trial using my link down below. Now you're probably wondering, okay, great, we have this done, we have this built. How is this going to improve the ranking on Google so that way they actually show up at the top when someone is looking for whatever niche or service that you want to go with? From here, you can go into Fiverr and type in Google Maps SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. And you can hire someone right here to do this for $15, $25, right? This guy's doing it for $5. It has over 1,000 5-star reviews. And as you can see, your business here, this is going to improve the Google Maps ranking so your clients can get more leads coming in. And you have tons of options to choose from. What they're going to do is build out these citations, which basically are directory website links that points back to your client's website, which boosts the authority. I know that sounds complicated, but I promise it's not. The other option is you can go inside of the tool that we use to build the website, and you can help manage and filter the reviews all inside here, or you can also build the citations and the different directories with one button. This is actually what we do, and I'm going to show you some of our results here in a second. However, you go ahead and hit activate Yext listings right here. You can actually decrease the price to $30, and then they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be on Bing. They're going to be on City Squares, on D&B Database, eLocal. It's going to post them on Hot Frog and all these different directories, which is going to help them show up even higher. And here is live proof that this works. This is a screenshot of a client that we signed up in Phoenix, Arizona. And when they came to us, we ran this search to see where their Google My Business is appearing. And as you can see, even where they're located, literally on top of their office, they were number 5. They were not number 1, 2, or 3, they were number 5, and they were beyond the 20th location. And then everywhere else, they were nowhere to be found. As you can see, it's all red, and this is in January 11th. This was earlier this year. Then, literally less than 1 month later, I did everything I'm telling you here, and they were number 1 at their office, and then they were number 3 in the north towns above their office, and they were already doing way better, right? Number 9, number 6, number 10. They were number 14 in the downtown area. Then we gave it another couple months, and look at what happened. July 11th, they were number 1 everywhere, and they were crushing it. Now they're getting more calls than they know what to do with, and so they're going to continue paying us. And we actually charge $1,000 per month for this service once they're actually getting all these leads and once they're getting all this new business. But honestly, even if you just wanted to do the website in a day, you can just send these like templated websites with these logos to your prospects and just charge $150 a month just to have the website up, and they'll be happy to pay that. You can talk to, let's say, a roofer and then ask them, look, how much is an average roof for you? Oh, it's $10,000. Do you think your competitor, ABC Roofing, that has a better website is getting more sales than you? Okay, probably yes. And you even told me that you would move forward with them. So do you think that by having a better reputation and looking like you're a real company, like you're a trusted company, is going to help you get more business? The answer is, of course. It is a no-brainer offer. $150 a month is nothing for a business owner. In fact, I would charge $300 per month and add on a couple different services. I would also add on what's called missed call text back. You can see that's all in the same dashboard right here, and you just enable it right here, and it says, hi, this is location name. I saw that we missed your call. How can we help? Now, this is very important because imagine, okay, you need your roof fixed, right? You have a leaky faucet. You need some kind of service in your home. You call the first company. You call the second company. They don't respond. If you need this ASAP, you're going to keep calling until someone freaking picks up. Now, a lot of these people are so busy, right? The guy's standing on a roof. He sometimes doesn't answer his phone when he's in the field, when he's working on things. So what we want to do is automatically text people that call. Even though he's standing on that roof, he gets a phone call and we send automatically a text message to that lead, which starts a conversation and gives him that lead back. So we're doing a few different things here. We're helping these local businesses get more clients, get more customers. Then we're helping them build their online reputation. So that way people actually trust them and hire them. And then we're helping them take their existing leads and convert, turn more of those leads into paying customers. And the best part is about all of this is that you are building your monthly reoccurring income. So you don't have to restart every single month. These clients will keep on paying you. They want to keep using this dashboard. They want to keep using your website. They want to keep getting all those positive reviews that you're going to help them get with some of our other campaigns. And let's say you get a client here for $300 every single day. That is $9,000 per month that you have in reoccurring income for work that you have already completed and work that you have already done and delivered. Now look, yes, I know even if you can't get one client a day, that's fine. What if it takes you 6 months? Would you work hard for 6 months to make $9,000 per month in reoccurring income? Heck, even if it takes you a year, that is still well worth it. Most people have to sacrifice so much, go to college, loans, all this stuff to make this kind of monthly income. And you can do all of this from your laptop. This can be a side income that you use to pay some bills, or you can turn this into a full-time business and do this full-time. I'm traveling right now full-time, living out of Airbnbs. I'm in Colombia right now. I'm going to be in Brazil next month because I'm able to work from my laptop and be a laptop CEO. And the best part about this service is that it's such a no-brainer, because when you can extract all this information and you have everything at your fingertips, and you can even categorize it by who doesn't have a business that's claimed. Imagine now, instead of using our tool here and instead of getting leads that are in Las Vegas, imagine if you did this for the entire state of Nevada. Imagine if you did this for the entire United States. You would have unlimited people that you can then go and reach out to. And the best part is you can categorize this exact sheet and go by who doesn't have a website or who has this templated business.site website and just offer them, hey, can I build you a website for free? And all you're going to do is put their logo on top, send it to them, and they're going to love it.